I pretty much do it whenever I've been to last
I know some
session.
people might want to contribute. I don't know.
It's tradition.
It's tricky.
Arthur does a really good job at it.
Both asking and Arthur telling.
Last week, it was a roleplay heavy session for me.
Everyone wanted to talk to Rada.
Dietland taught Erden how to cast, I think it was create water. And he was eventually able to do it successfully. Using his human half. After successfully putting water into a bucket, he had a talk with Rada, giving her, or at least advising her to gain the attention of the gods by making herself stand out. After which, Idea had her talk with Rada. Then we all went to sleep, and Rada found herself in a conversation with the god Neptune, which was rudely interrupted by Idea casting heroism, distracting Rada from the conversation that did not make the god happy. So Neptune popped out of the dream, put Idea to sleep, and Erden shunted him out from Rada's dream by casting a spell. This woke Rada up. She advised him to be more cautious in the future. And the next morning, Dietland offered to talk with DeWith about getting us a portal to Albion. And we'll meet at the sandwich shop at noon. This week.
Excellent. All right. We will open up as we are at the library, unless anybody wants to do something on the walkover, but I have a feeling that it's probably not the case.
There is, actually.
On the way over?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you were on your way over then?
Yeah, since Ern's planning on helping Rada today, he'll obviously be traveling next to her, but then he'll say, hey Rada, could we do a small stop on the way over?
Yes?
So I'm going to try something in a very safe and controlled manner.
Alright.
And it'll be in the training field, so hopefully it'll be built for that.
What are you going to be training?
It's mostly just something that I can't find any information on.
Alright.
On our back and forth, I have a quick question. On our back and forths to the library, Rada, are you giving Brina a ride back and forth, or am I walking? I'm perfectly fine with either. I just wanted to know for roleplay purposes.
I mean,
or at least in this instance.
I mean, for most instances, I just imagine the default is Rada giving Brina a ride.
Okay.
And to keep these on good behavior.
Are you on good behavior today, too? Are you on good behavior today? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Tuesday good on good behavior today. What? I spent the coloring book today.
You did the coloring book today?
Okay.
Because on hearing Airden wanting to test something, I'm actually gonna say if you're wanting to detour, I'm actually gonna head straight to the library if you guys don't mind.
Go ahead.
Why can't I remember?
Today you have several books in the library that you need to read.
That's right.
We're also looking for Greek hangover food because of the weirdness of the magical sleep.
Yes. Brussels sprouts. That's where we left off. I remember now.
That's where you
Brussels sprouts?
That was what the internet gave me when I tried to look up Greek hangover food. Or there was like this thing with breadsticks and lemon juice. But the Brussels sprouts just sounded hilarious.
Sticks of lemon juice sound more appetizing.
It's true. Either one would work, obviously.
Yeah.
Brussels sprouts, a little olive oil, a couple spices. It'll be fine.
Yeah. So as before you guys detour, I'll slide off Rada's back and continue on towards the library.
See you over there.
Okay. Best of luck chatting when you want to. Please try not to hurt yourself or anybody else.
That is not my plan
Excellent.
to do that.
I didn't think it was. Just be careful.
And I think the train field is between the DMV and the Census Bureau. So
Neither of those sound pleasant. Although I wouldn't know entirely about the Census Bureau.
No, because you had stayed in the library when we went.
But we've seen this Census Bureau. Yeah, I'm not sure which one's better.
Mm-hmm. So you get to the training area. Very large area. Several separate training fields. They basically have you sign up to use one for like an hour. Like that's the biggest slot they'll let you. You can be there for like 30 minutes or whatever, however long you think it'll take.
Aaron signs up for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Does it cost anything?
But food is for the books. It's my armor.
Yeah. It's like 20 copper pieces.
Alrighty.
You know, it's like the equivalent of $20.
Just to cover the cleaning fee.
Basically.
All right, and Aaron will basically like. I imagine there's like a training dummy there he can use.
Uh-huh.
All right, so Ern will pull out the Bright Hearth, and then basically get into basic fighting stance, do basic sideward downward slash, and use specifically the Divine Smite that comes with Paladin classes, and just see if anything happens other than the expected +1 effect from Idea.
Nothing weird seems to happen. Seems to be doing what you expect it to. Roll damage.
Let's see here. I actually need to pull out the dice for this. It's been forever since we've done it. Okay, that one. See here. 4 slashing damage, 5, I guess, labeled radiant damage, and yeah.
Oh, let's see. I gotta think about. La, 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 la. I haven't decided yet. 'Cause you worship a life goddess, and I've removed radiant damage because it's kind of arbitrary. So, um, mm,
I didn't realize that was
I'm
happening.
gonna decide what.
I have lots of
I have successfully put the DM on the spot.
Well, I had it figured out, and then I forgot what I had.
It does mystery damage, the most powerful damage in the universe. Or the least powerful, depending on who's in control of it. What?
It
That
is
somehow
like
does necromantic.
you slashed through the dummy, but then it stitched itself back up. But that would make your weapon very useless.
Mm-hmm.
No, we determined
It'd be
it's
funny.
we've
Would be
determined that
mean.
it's cancerous smite.
I guess the problem is though, like, okay, hold on. Let
It's
me.
water damage because the Lady of the Lake.
Wait a minute,
Don't
does
even
that
know
mean
God.
if that was the actual effect, that would mean that Ern could carry a dagger around, and regardless of whatever like slashing damage he did, he could undo that with his smite damage.
Because the radiant comes from the smite, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Heart attack damage.
I'm gonna say
Not Leo.
that I don't have a name for it yet, but basically what it is it's gonna be like the opposite of necrotic damage. So necrotic damage damages people like us. You do basically healing damage to things that would normally be immune to like necrotic. So nothing's gonna happen to this dummy other than you're going to like rip its arm off, and then the guy at the front desk is just gonna be like, "Ah, come on!" Like, I gotta stitch it up.
Using a phoenix down on an undead enemy.
Got that reference.
And you know what? Because it's funny, and because technically this dummy is going to be made out of fibers that were made out of plants, they're starting to turn green and grow flowers because you brought it back to life.
Everyone's just kind of like look at that and look at his art again. Just like out of every possible reaction, I don't know what I was expecting.
It's new.
Rada, do you have a warhammer I could borrow? Because I think all the rest of my weapons are made out of iron.
What is the word?
I have two. You can borrow the normal one because I don't. Do we really want to trust Idea with remove bonus.
Do I still have remove curse?
I mean,
think-
if she still has it, then yes, I would.
I don't have it anymore. But the party member?
She'll loan him her normal warhammer. So
Thank you.
that's a D8 bludgeoning, or D10 if you use it two-handed.
I'll use it two-handed, I think. I guess I'll hit the dummy again with another Divine Smite. I should probably get an actual dice roller because they all flew out.
Missing. Am I missing?
That's
Yeah.
5 bludgeoning damage and then 8, I guess, regrowth damage.
Yeah, you pop the dummy's head off.
It does the same damage as trees do to sidewalks.
Pretty much. I mean, it's pretty destructive if you think about it. Like, you get those roots in there and it cracks the sidewalk, and then you're tripping over it because you're like, oh, this isn't where it's supposed to be.
He does tree root damage.
And once again, it starts to grow green stuff out of the parts that you've torn on both the head and the neck. Like, it's sprouting shoots.
I'll actually like pull them out a little bit. Have they grown like roots as well?
It does not look like it, no.
Hmm.
They're like growing from like the threads.
They were obviously cut somewhere and now they're just still growing out from the other end, essentially.
They've been grafted into the dummy's fabric.
The dummy isn't wearing like any armor, right?
No, but there is armor in like a bin. So there's like armor and like wooden weapons and things like that off to the side.
I really don't want to be wasting my spell slots like this. But since this is a new mechanic, and I am obviously a person trying to get into the system, I'm gonna see if there's any like leather armor, and then I'll pull out a sword at the same time, one sword.
Yeah, there is leather.
All right.
There is leather
gonna-
and stuff leather. So,
And he'll use the bright hearth again, and maneuver it so it cuts both the leather and the sword at the same time.
okay. Um. Because let's see, I'm trying to think. I mean, I guess they're not moving. Yeah, okay. Hold up. Give me some damage.
Let's see here. 2, I guess technically 3 slashing damage and a whopping 14 regrowth.
So you hear a slight tear from the actual slashing into the leather. And then you hear this massive creak, like a tree moving in the wind, as you finish through to the sword. So there isn't really much of a tear in the leather. And there's not even a nick in the sword, but the leather does seem to be is it bleeding? It looks like it's bleeding.
Like, is its chemical treatment actually leaking out of it as well?
You're getting a weird smell, that's for sure.
At this point, Rada is leaving before we get kicked out.
I didn't see anything, sir.
I imagine Tooth is still with you. Tooth, what are you thinking about? What's going on right now?
Yeah, because
Busy.
he was still on.
He's busy coloring, remember?
He's just writing.
Now there's a
Rada
very
coloring.
strong smell, though. Is it not gonna bother you? Can't use my Foster dice. They like me more than you. She likes me just fine. What does that mean? What did you roll for? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm rolling to see if you recognize just the smell. Oh yeah, it's definitely like tanning oils and the chemicals used for tanning. What are you doing? Why is there a weird smell? Well, not a weird smell, but it's a weird smell. Like, I know the smell, but why is the smell here?
I guess are there also like new growths coming out of the sword as well?
It looks like it might be trying to grow a branch, but wood seems to be a lot harder to grow than, say, like grass, which is what, linen is made out of.
Mm-hmm.
So it's struggling a little bit, but it looks like it's trying.
Reverse alchemy? Like, even Ern's a little horrified by this. It's like, what happens if I stab somebody with this? Or if I hit someone with enough power, like, could their armor regrow around them?
You've become a Jedi with a lightsaber. Instead of cauterizing the wound heals as the sword cuts fast.
I
One of these
don't do
days, Aaron's
comparative
gonna be the
anatomy.
top of a three-eyed frog.
I mean, you can test it out.
Well, not a diamond frog.
You know that morbid curiosity? That is definitely what Ern is feeling right now. Like, nope, I'm leaving. Nope, I'm not touching this anymore. The day I test this on another living being is a day we're both having a very bad day. Aaron is leaving the building. Leaving the building and finding Rada. It's like,
Wait for me.
I don't care if there's an extra 5 minutes remaining. I'm not dealing with this anymore.
Yeah, you're passing the guy at the desk, and he's just looking over there like, dude, well, paid enough for this.
I
feel like Ern will throw back a bronze coin.
There you go.
Sorry.
Oh, that's funny. All right. By about the time he's done with this, you two have probably made it to the entrance of the library and inside.
Step one of the four-part, I think it's four-part plan. Food.
Is what?
Food.
Food. Yes. Indeed, and I'm sure that if you go to one of the Greek restaurants, you will find your Brussels sprouts. And you will get a sympathetic nod, like, it's okay. Here you go.
The guy who's behind the counter just looking at you, knowing, like, I get it, dear. Here you go.
Yeah, and they're not going to charge you a whole lot for that. It's probably only going to be like 3 copper pieces. Like, this is like, they have so many people come in for this remedy that they don't have to charge a lot.
If it's just a side of Brussels sprouts, it's probably pretty cheap too.
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh, I thought I saw like that you'd French braid.
I did.
Oh, did you?
It looks really nice, Megan.
I can't even like regular braid my hair half the time. At least not behind me. For whatever reason, behind me right now is just a struggle. I used to be able to. I'm not even thinking.
It
Not
took me
anymore.
17 years to learn how to braid my hair myself. So I feel you.
I mean, I taught myself how to do it on My Little Ponies.
French braiding
Anyway.
is done, but
So,
part 2 of the things that need to get done today before we take a portal off to Albion.
did the Brussels sprouts work?
I'm hoping that between the walk and the Brussels sprouts it worked.
once
But
you
I'll-
finish your Brussels sprouts, go ahead and give me a Constitution save.
Hey. Oh wait, my constitution's my dump stat. Oh, but I've got a +3. Yay! It's a 17.
17. Okay, you are feeling better now. Like,
Yay!
whatever was in those Brussels sprouts seems to be doing the trick.
Yeah, I don't have any constitution modifier, but apparently that's one of the 2 saves I have proficiency in.
Probably a good one to have the proficiency in. Alright, so now you're feeling better. Where are you two heading?
I have an armor infusion to do next. We've got more projects in the library.
You wouldn't go after Brussels sprouts. I went to grab like a roll, like croissant kind of a roll. I don't know if that's a thing yet, but grab a roll. Which,
Yep.
You went to the pastry shop and picked out the tastiest looking piece of bread you could find.
yeah, pretty much.
They give you bread. It's like, if you get a roll, you get cheese and grapes with it. This is like the staple in Europe. Bunch of things she's not used to eating, but is grown to start enjoying. I don't actually know if you've had grapes yet.
I don't know if I've had grapes yet either.
These are interesting fruits. They kind of remind you of blueberries, but they're big and purple. And seem to be on a vine.
Brina's just kind of looking at this, at the grapes in her hands. Excuse me.
Yes.
Perhaps a very stupid question, but what are these little purple things and how do you eat them? They
Grapes.
look good.
You
I just don't know what they are.
take them off the vine and just pop them in your mouth. Chew them.
Okay.
Spit out the
And
seeds.
what are
Yeah,
they
don't
called?
eat the
Don't
grapes.
eat what?
The vine.
Fine.
That part I'd gotten. But I wasn't sure if you could take them off the vine or if they remained attached to the vine and you just kind of like dangle them in the air. But that seemed kind of weird.
I mean, you can just pluck them off with your mouth, or you can pluck them off with your hands.
I think I'll go with hands. Thank you. How much was that?
If you're going for the whole thing, it's probably not going to be a whole lot because it's a staple thing. So we'll say like maybe 6 copper.
Okay. Mostly out of character for curiosity's sake. What kind of cheese is this?
Sharp cheddar.
Yes. Sorry, this sounds like my kind of breakfast. Yeah, I was gonna say because I'll finish my food because you can't bring food
Yeah.
into the library. I'm guessing.
No.
Yeah.
And I'll say this: the cheddar is going to be a change from the cheeses you've been getting. You've been getting a lot of those softer cheeses that are typical of like France and so this is one that's definitely used as a travel cheese.
Because it's a hard cheese and it travels well.
Yep. It's great for hitting people with too. Why would you hit people with cheese? Because they're trying to steal your cheese.
I mean, if you have a very large wheel of cheese, it's not much different than hitting someone with a large weight.
I'm now imagining somebody with a gigantic wheel of Gouda going like
Just like on the end of a stick and they're using it like a warhammer.
Yeah. The Gouda Warhammer. It goes right next to the garlic bread cleric.
It's such a Gouda warhammer. Cheez-Its just made a Gouda flavor, and they are delicious. I thought Megan was going to just like melt into the floor.
Wait, Cheez-Its made a Gouda flavor? Oh, I want to try this.
It's delicious.
Thank you for telling me about this. Basically what I'll do is I'll find a seat at one of the little tables and happily munch on my breakfast second breakfast. I'm having a second breakfast. I'm embracing my inner halfling, because we already had breakfast at Dealan's. But
You are a type of halfling, so it makes sense.
to be perfectly honest, I kind of forgot that we had breakfast and I wanted more bread, so second breakfast. But once I finish that, I'll be heading off to the Land of Stories and just going back into reading more. I don't think I'll go back to the scroll section where Taliesin is, where Taliesin's work was really not at first, but more looking for adventuresome storybooks, I think.
Okay.
Fiction. I'm looking for fiction.
Okay.
He searches for the Iliad, the Odyssey, the Epic of Gilgamesh. Beowulf's probably been written by this point, right?
What has?
Yep.
Yeah.
Beowulf. Yep.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Beowulf has his. What? Arden has his Beowulf's armor.
Yeah, Beowulf has
does.
been written.
And his sword.
Uh-huh.
Weapons does Eric have?
All of them.
His bag of holding is just weapons in my head.
I didn't realize how much liberal use we were making of hammer space.
Like
here.
his bag of holding is just an armory in and of itself.
No. He only has 4 weapons. One of them is a knife. The other is Beowulf's sword on his right hip, the bright hearth on his left, and then his old sax. Now the armor, on the other hand, he has several.
Right, he didn't buy the diamond sword.
I would just imagine if Rada, Erden, and Tooth arrived at his Brina and Idea were getting their food. What are you doing? Getting breakfast. You already had it. We had one, yes.
Yeah, but what about
Second breakfast.
Ern would join in at that point. Like, that's just flawless logic.
Okay.
Well, now we just need luncheon and Elvisness.
His food is medicine. We're moving on now.
Yep.
Okay. And so, Idea, you were going to go work on.
An armor infusion is the next order of business.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was like, I can't remember the words. Okay. Where are you going to go do this?
Well, I think we found a large open table to work on Eridan's sword. I figured that I might as well just go back there.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Out of all of our fiddly reminders, remember not to do the thing that we messed up the last time. Probably slightly different, doing armor instead of weapon.
Yeah. I
shall retire for the evening. Good night.
Hi, Megan.
Where are you heading me?
Because I can.
Okay. This time at a table nearby, there are a group of students. You're not entirely sure what was going on, but it does look like they might have melted a hole in the table. And they're all going, they're whispering really fast and like trying to like figure out how to fix whatever happened there. I don't want to get caught.
Adea becomes curious. How big is this hole in the table?
Like cauldron sized.
I'll lose specific number.
Cauldron size. So probably more than a foot across.
Yes.
Hmm.
Probably like 1.5 feet across. Maybe 2. Probably 2.
Interesting.
They kind of, one kid like catches you looking and he like bumps the kids next to him and they all just kind of like, like
What's the table made out of?
trying to like cover the hole.
What's the table made out of?
Wood.
They melted a hole in wood?
They did. I said.
Yeah, it would have to be an acid.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, that doesn't. Because I'm like, otherwise the wood would have caught on fire.
Somebody didn't check the pH of their potion before they made it.
They melted through the cauldron before
Bird.
they got to the wood.
Oh my goodness.
What kind of magical BS happened?
There's no cauldron there. Hey, if your cauldron's made out of the wrong material, there could be an acid strong enough to melt it. Eat right through it.
Well, Adea spends a moment thinking about how she can help, and then actually, she's done this before. It took multiple mending attempts, but bring more wood.
Yeah, you realize that fixes a single tear that's like 1 foot long. It takes a minute
But
to cast.
the hole in the boat was bigger than that, but we had to cast mending multiple times.
Where are you getting this wood from?
Yeah,
That's
Adea
right.
starts looking around and she goes, she's trying to figure out if there's any wood lying around that isn't
Yeah.
that
Or
could
example,
hypothetically be used.
in Harry Potter, they use pewter cauldrons. Pewter is a tin alloy. Tin will corrode, will dissolve in strong acids.
When you said
use
10, I was
that-
like, oh, geez.
Yeah.
Why do I have this? Enderbox.
So there is no cauldron there. Whatever acid they had ate it, is gone. And because of the wood, and because it's a strong acid, it can eat through the wood too. Because wood is, primarily carbon. And guess what? Carbon makes up a lot of acids.
Mm.
It probably just bonded with the acid and made more acid.
Not even there, but I want to know what the floor underneath that hole looks like.
I wonder what it smells like.
It's alright. It's not carbonate.
Smells like vinegar. Really, really strong vinegar.
And this is why I am happy that Brina is on her way away from here.
Hidea kind of walks over and she's like, "It's okay. I've done this before. I'm not gonna rat you out."
Oh. Well, you know how to clean up acetic acid? We didn't dilute it quite the right amount.
You don't say.
What's funny is I don't know if Hidea knows the answer to this. She might have picked it up in all of her recent studies, but it was not the focus of her studies.
Just go ahead and give me an intelligence check. I mean, you're likely to have come across acetic acid because it does melt certain metals that you don't want them to melt, or dissolve certain metals that you don't want them to dissolve. So,
20. Dirty 20.
sorry, Jasmine messaged me. What was your roll?
20. Dirty 20.
2020. You have done this. You have wrongly diluted acetic acid before because you needed to know, like, how much acid it would take to dissolve certain things that you were making. And you remember that you nearly burned through your fingers and you're like, oh, this is not good. I gotta, like, wash this off. It hurt. And the fix is that you need something to neutralize it. You need a base, strong base. And the one that you used, you remember that you used as a means of, like, cleaning things, and that you had, but you usually diluted that too. The name of it is escaping. You remember that it smelled clean, very strong, clean smell. For your benefit, because I know, like, because Hidea doesn't know what she's going to be looking for. She just can't remember what it's called. Bleach. She's looking for ammonia. Yeah.
Hidea's looking at this and she's like, okay, first off, the first thing we need is proper protection. Obviously, if you can put a hole in the table, and then she'll get a little quieter when she says that, then it can put a hole in your fingers too. Don't ask me how I know. We need something, a base, something. Those aren't quite the same thing, but oh, what do I have? What do I have?
Yeah, they're all kind of looking at each other like they understand what you mean, but they're like, do you have a base? No, I don't have a base. Do you have one? Why don't you bring one? So dumb.
They're like, I suspect we're not allowed into whatever cleaning closet might be around here. What else do I have?
Cleaning closets, the library.
Yeah, who
Oh,
knows
do they
where
have
it
one
is?
of those emergency kits? I bet there's something in one of those emergency kits.
Wait, isn't this on the
Look, we did
7th floor?
something stupid. We need something now.
What was that, Marco?
Is this on the 7th floor where you're supposed to be doing spell work? Or is this on the 3rd floor where research is supposed to be happening and a cleanup kit should be around? Because this is a very important distinction here.
It was the same table in the lobby that she had used to work on your sword. I was assuming that that table was in the lobby.
Well, this would be very hard to hide in the lobby.
True. What floor is this table that she's working at on? Because from my memory, when she worked on your sword, Airden, it was in the lobby for some reason, but I could be very wrong.
I thought it was on the 7th floor where she would also be able to have access to all the research stuff.
Yeah, I'm just picturing in my mind that whatever floor this is on, is like the moment where Tom comes out and says, "You need a base that is as equivalent in strength as the acid you just used." All with a stern, unapproving look on her face, because she's a professor at the University
Magic
of
is?
Missouri.
Or it's the 6th floor where the sciences occurs.
So they're on the 6th floor, or because it sounded like he said this or.
Yeah, so either it's the 7th floor where magic studies happen, or it's the 6th floor where the science studies happen. Because alchemy is going to be science rather than magic.
Right. So Dale would kind of look at them and be like, you know where any one of those like emergency kits would be? There's something in one of those for when you do stupid things like this. I do stupid things like this. Don't feel too bad.
And like, hold on. Good roll. Boy, I rolled poorly again. Do come back essentially with like the acid cleanup equivalent of spill magic, which is basically just like sodium polyacrylate. It just absorbs all the liquid so you can get it out of there. So they do have like basically some sort of basic polymer that's going to soak up any acid that's still there and hopefully prevent any more damage.
Right.
However,
That was going to be my
it's a
next
hole in the
question was,
table.
have we contained whatever is putting a hole in the table so that it's not putting holes in other things?
Yes. There is corrosion on the floor below the hole in the table. Think about it, like the corrosion looks kind of like when you look at big rock outcrops and there's that dark black staining they get. Basically, that's corrosion from rodent urine. Yeah, the fun things you learn in field geology. So it looks kind of like that. Urine is acidic, so it's going to eat through the rock. And since it's a stone floor, whatever the acetic acid was doing was basically leaving the same scorch-like mark on there. But they have contained it. It's not eating anything anymore because they've cleaned it up. There's just essentially a burn mark on the floor and a hole in the table.
All right, next thing. Tinder box. I have a tinder box. There's some wood in there. And the floor. How concerned are we about the floor? Is the stain a problem? Probably a problem, right?
Not not as much of a problem as the hole in the table.
Okay, good. We can
I was
maybe
saying,
worry
like,
about
how many
it more later.
How many stains are there?
Don't worry, the last time I did this, I was on a sinking boat, so this has got to go better than that.
Oh,
Adea will
that's
pull out
nice.
various bits of wood from her tinderbox so that she can try and get enough of a bridge of the gap so she can attempt multiple mendings to put the table back together.
So you're pulling out some matchsticks.
Tinderbox, it should have some amount of firewood for
It's more
starting,
like
right?
kindling.
Oh, it just says it. Yeah, never mind.
So it's like what? Flint, chunk of steel, and paper?
Yeah, it does not actually have wood in it. It's just all the fire lighting stuff.
I mean, technically, you probably use paper. But boy, is it gonna long time if you do that because you got to get back to wood.
Right. That's a lot of work. Thought we had something, but we did not.
You might need a druid to do that.
Right.
Do any of you have wood?
Right. And the last time I did this, we needed more wood, which we need more wood right now. So if any of you can provide or know where we can go salvage some.
Is there a chair nearby?
Or a crate.
I rolled that 20. Skid rolls his bag out, and it looks like a bag of holding. He just goes, "You mean like this?" Just pulls out a bag of wood.
Right.
That's what he look at him. He's like, "They're like, dude, why?" He's like, "Well, I don't know. I thought I was gonna take a carpentry class, and then I decided I wasn't really all that good at it, and I just haven't done anything with the wood."
That kid needs to learn to double down. He just has to look at everyone else and ask, why don't you guys have your own plank of wood?
Well, we came prepared and he's helping you all out today. All right, let's see here. Does the hole look like it might still be dangerous from acid around the edges? Or are we done with reactions here?
No, it does not look like any more reactions happening.
Okay.
Hey, because of your experience, you probably weathering gloves. Just,
Yeah.
skin.
Adea
Okay.
goes for a good old-fashioned magic solves everything solution. She'll put the wood on top, but before going to actually touch anything and work with the mending, she will cast protection from energy, choosing acid.
Okay. I'm like, all right. Acid gloves. Cool.
All right. Time to get to work. I don't know if any of the rest of you are capable of some magic. We could speed this up a little bit, but if not, I mean, and Adea will start casting mending to try and start filling in some gaps.
One of the other students will start helping with that.
Excellent.
They seem to be pretty adept at this. um, and for flavor text, I will say that when you cast the light protection from acid, it does feel a lot like you put rubber gloves on for
I love it.
It does take some time, probably 15-20 minutes, just because mending's,
Not intended for this big of a problem.
no. There's two of you, so it's making it a little easier. you're also having to like channel it through yourself now and not through a deity, so you're still getting used to the way that feels. And so every now and then you're like, it tickles. Like the other student will look at you a few times like, are you okay? Like,
Also, the last time I did this, I was working off of deific magic.
if you have your own magic, why were you using deific magic?
I was just following the path of least resistance to make things work well. Maybe it wasn't the brightest thing in the long term, but I figured it out now. Mostly.
Okay. But you do eventually get it done. It's not perfect. There seems to be this ring at the table. You can't feel it. Like, you run your hand over it, it feels smooth. Like, it's all in there, but it doesn't look like
All right.
there's like
Same thing of like a massive
hole.
watermark on a table.
You're going,
Yeah.
Yep.
you're going from like a mahogany to a birch.
And there we go.
Yeah, that wooden plank was not the same wood as the table, so it's just
So it's obvious,
Color.
but at least it's repaired, so maybe they can sneak by.
Now I return to the
Oh,
question
alright.
of the floor. How big of a deal is the floor exactly?
There are so many marks on this floor. There are scratches and burns, and you're sure you want to know what that is there. It's a weird color. Which even be a different material, just a patch that had been put into the floor. It's probably not a big deal.
This isn't the first time this has happened, is it? The day looks closer.
No.
That's a good
No.
thing
Hey,
it's a good thing they didn't use limestone for this floor.
oh no. Everything in this building's made out of granite. A little bit.
Well, then
And
while
it's
we
not
could fix that-
like feldspar heavy granite either. We're talking like almost to diorite.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah, because well,
Those
I just looked it up and it says that yeah, strong acids can work on it, but not instantly. Takes some
No.
time.
No, like limestone marble floors.
If the floor
You
was
have
also,
no
we'd have a
floor.
yeah, this would be a bigger fall over limestone.
They knew what they were doing. Some of the marble, but those are the floors where you're only. I gotta be. No one said each other were dumb. Eight of those ones.
Yeah, after a day looks at this and she's like, well, it seems to match the rest of the floor, so maybe we can let that one go.
Yeah. So the student who helped you just kind of looks at everyone else and, okay, Saturday, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm going to the beach. All right, you have like hold you. She is so done. Whatever they've probably been working on this project for a while. She's like, hey, group projects. I cannot do this anymore. Probably the
Anyway.
one doing most of the work.
These small problems, we can make things work. It takes ingenuity, but we can get there. Solved it today.
Eventually, the other students thank you, and they ain't following. They're just like, yeah, it's the weekend. We should take a break before we like drive ourselves crazy.
Meanwhile, Adea, back to studying. Or rather, in this case, infusing. Studying by practicing.
Practice. Practice is important. Pom pom pom.
And now I'm all warmed up. Lots of mending.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let you get set up. Rod, Erden, we're back together now that Erden's given up on. What's the plan now, guys? Oh, Tooth is also with us.
You done experimenting?
Yep, absolutely. I definitely do not want to have to think about any harder than what I just realized. I'm pretty sure it's a personal problem, so if anyone asks, I just won't bring it up.
Okay, so we're in a silent agreement. We're not bringing that up.
Until we absolutely have to. I'm a little worried when it comes up in combat.
Bring what up in combat?
How damaging things can be. So, what are we looking up again?
We're going to be seeing if we can find anything on Tong. Either things she's worked on or things in the past she's been in. If we're lucky, maybe some friends that can tell us some things.
Awesome. Let's do that.
So I'm gonna go to the history section first.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's. Where can I put my back? I gotta remind
Okay.
myself because there's so many.
Is there like a card catalog in this place?
If you're on the map, basically.
Why is this upside down? I'm not. All right, it's going to be on the fourth floor because I apparently did not write history down.
Cool.
So it's going to be sharing space with the cultures section.
All right. So how is this section organized?
Um, by continent and country.
All right. Rod's going to start looking. Pause before turning to her and like, do you think that where Tong's from would use or this library would use the local name for the area or what it's more commonly known as?
I don't know actually, because if it's being written by a person from there, they'd obviously use the local language. But if it's someone else, they wouldn't they use both?
Well, considering that we only know what her homeland in the Fey realm is called, I suppose we could start with looking for Serika. Or Sarika.
Serika. All right, let's do that.
Okay, let's do it. How do you spell that?
Did they localize the language at all?
Well, let's just do a quick Google search for names of China.
Is that the other world name for it, or the common name, or the name in the mortal world?
That
I
was
did-
so Serica was China as the Romans call it.
So not the other world name then.
Correct. Alright, so Serica was one of the easternmost countries in Asia known to the ancient Greeks and Roman geographers. That is Serica.
That's the first name I've gotten correct on the first try.
I had a K instead of a C, but other than that, I got it right.
Yeah, because in Latin, I's are pronounced E, and C's are always pronounced as a K. So, Serica. Generally taken to refer to northern China during its Zhuo, Qin, and Han dynasties, as it was reached via the overland Silk Road, in contrast to Sinai, who were reached via the maritime routes.
Nice. Alright. So, I'm gonna need some investigations.
Individual rolls.
17.
Okay. 3.
Oh no, Rana. It's happening again.
No!
Can't find your crap.
Damn it, Neptune!
Did you already find this country though? Apparently it's part of a place called Asia.
Okay.
And it does appear that everything is in as chronological order as it can get. Because sometimes people just, don't include dates in their information.
Won't people think of the historians?
Never.
So I imagine Erdon's the one that finds it. He's like, hey, right, it's over here. This place called Asia? Alright, so it's roughly chronological order, which means oldest stuff is over here and the more recent stuff's over here. Now what to begin?
How old is she?
Well, when I first met her, she said she was about 420 years old.
So we have a long way to look.
Well, the feelings she has are pretty strong, so perhaps the feelings are more recent than were initially sinking.
Hey, Mary.
Yes?
Higher level.
Hi.
Huh.
Hmm?
Keep going. Keep going.
I just hadn't heard what the comment was. That's all. So cut out.
Should
Whatever.
we try with since the past 100 years?
Okay, let's try that. Do you want to start the most recent or the oldest in the 100 years? Work our way to the middle.
We can, well, one person can take one side and the other person can take the other, and then as you said, me in the middle. Whichever you're more comfortable with.
Huh. Okay, I'll take the more recent stuff then.
What are you looking for again?
So we are going to be looking for any kind of references that might sound similar to Tong, as they might appear in history, to see if we can find the source of the oddness that is Tong.
Cool. So great. Oh, yeah, other stuff down at the table starting to work. Partway through, I'd say you've been there an hour digging through stuff, finding a whole lot. There's a few spots that you have to open and set to the side where it's like that could be Tom. When a gentleman walks over and he just kind of pauses at your table and is like kind of coming over to look at what you're doing, he goes, "My God, like the bullshit going on here.
Oh no.
Project? No?
No, we're trying to see if we can find references to a particular person.
Ooh. Anyone? India? All good?
I hope so. Been having audio issues for the past couple sentences.
Okay. Oh, and I'm like, oh, someone's famous. Let me guess. Well, you're going for China. Gotta be. Mulan? No, she's considered real to most people.
We're not exactly sure how famous this person would be. I mean, considering we aren't from this China.
They know. I mean, you're a centaur. You're from what, Greece?
Yes.
Will make sense. Let's see. Pale complexion. You've got to be from Europe. Or someone north. Scandinavia. You've
Yep.
never heard the word Scandinavia before.
And
You're
just
just
nods
like,
along
yeah.
like, yeah.
Uh-huh. can't get at this. Well, maybe I can have. I've been to China a few times.
Well, this person that we're looking for is actually Faye. Um,
Yes, even if you're quite magic people. Yes, okay.
She's a fox spirit. These days she would be within her 400s.
It's a little bit, not a whole lot, because they live a long time. Does she have a name?
Full name was Tong Yawin.
I hate. It's okay. I love her. I love her. I do my best not to annoy her, but I'm just annoying. But I've been very useful, so she keeps me around.
Okay, so before we continue, how much did anyone else get of the past sins?
Bits and pieces, because she was breaking up pretty bad.
She's very.
Oh,
Some finds the
I
person
see.
very annoying,
Hold
but
on.
I will be back.
keeps him around because he's useful.
My thing is bouncing between red, yellow, and green like mad. Give me a sec. Let me.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who noticed that, because I didn't get any of it.
No, she's been like that most of the time, so it's not just you.
Okay, it's staying green now. Nope. Doing. I don't know what it's doing. Let me see if it just. No. Where are you bouncing? What's going on?
It's jealous of traffic lights.
Still very jealous.
Are you connected to any of these? No one things keep dying. Why are they connected? Yeah, my whatever he is that I've got a gun. Literally just yellow, green, red, yellow, green. Staying steady. I don't know why. I don't know how to. Um, me. You? I think what it is. No, not that. What is this called? Why is it doing the same numbers but changing color? Yeah, I think my internet has just gone shit and is not gonna work. It was doing something weird earlier too, like I could not get Netflix to work.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Um, okay, well, I think just because my internet's being weird and it's 10 o'clock, we'll just call it there.